Alrighty, from marketwizards.com and eminywizard.com, approaching the end of the second hour, trading on the 12th of July, 2019, reminding traders to use risk capital you can afford to lose. All right, wrapping up the morning session. Feel blessed when we use some analysis and it works out and we're able to take something out of the market. Be grateful for that. I never assume that I know where it's going. I have ideas, but I never know until hindsight whether they're going to play out or not. Nobody does. So you use risk capital you can afford to lose. You try to be a little bit conservative in your ideas, and you try to take something out of the swings. Pre-market, we had talked about where support might be. And while I agree with that support that James had talked about, 03, I said, I want to think a little more aggressively than that. I think I want to get paid by 05s. I'm looking at a chart like this and I'm saying, you know what? This is where they're going to get me. This is where someone who wants a perfectly safe trade, okay, I'll buy between 02 and 04. You know, a conservative trader is going to be an altar boy. He's going to miss this trade coming up, and maybe he overstayed a short, thinking too much. So my conservative nature serves me a little bit better because I'm the guy you see that counts to 3 at the red light when it turns green, and I'm waiting to make sure that guy doesn't run the light, because I've seen it too many times where guys are texting or whatever on their phone and they don't even look at the light. They're trying to run it. So I'm a bit conservative. And you get that way after getting beat up in the wars. So this 2-day chart has served us well. Resistance, trading box, and then we said this is probably the support box. And as we come into this box, then you move them down and say, okay. But now we can move it back and say, all right, good idea. This really is a squeeze pivot until broken. Anybody that played south side should be paid. I said, make sure you pay there by 06, 6.25. Because this is the retest of that prior area. And oftentimes that's going to hold the first time back. That's the squeeze play right there. So this chart has really helped us today. We looked at this chart. That this is not negative. I said it'll be a miracle if we get to the gap. All right? No miracle yet. Overhead resistance. Want to test this breakout, and I want to think the buy zone is above the gap, but not too far. I don't want to buy the 11s and 12s and even the 10s. Risk and reward, I thought up here, just wasn't a good odds trade to go long from this low, from that low we just showed, from that swing. And we're never going to get every trade right. Don't think we will. But we're hoping to get some of them. So primary box that we are arguing about today is this breakout box above last week's high. It's still continuation above it. And then below it, obviously coming back in and starting to retrace. On the retrace, we got back to about a 40 back. Once we got the, tested the highs, a double. And then we held. And that is, so this is our support. True support for now until broken. And I'd said that yesterday. Well, it's 88. That's key. Got to get, 92s. If they get it back here, then obviously we know that's our last known support. So far, this held, so that's it. So don't make it more complicated than it is. Take a look in a couple of different frames, including the monthly, which right on the money, a monthly guy said, okay, I like it. I'm going to give it a shot. And that's understanding the power of knowing where a big boy might want to enter. Tells us something if they don't. But right here, we had said that's, you know what, that's a monthly level. Better make sure you're paid, because really that's the box that's being bought on that level. We know we're in these two boxes on the predictive chart. And we know that we're up in the resistance box on a weekly basis. And we know that our support is back here at 98. Weekly basis. And I had called that this morning. I said, no matter what, this 98 is our base support. We're going to remember that for next week. In other words, I don't think 98 gets beat. Not today. That's the way I'm looking at it. Anybody that has bought thinking you got a home run, my suggestion again, paid by 10 to 11. Double tops usually come first. And tedious morning, but if you eked out your vig, good for you. Double right here held, and that's that for now. Angels and demons. Testing the demon, this guy, big bar. All we know is the top of that bar is resistance until broken. Volume light, JV team on the field. They're playing defense. Not a lot of offense, but definitely playing defense. Thank you, Peter. Let me take one quick peek at that if I can before I break. RTY. Back to test 7380 by EOD. And we know that we're in this box. We also know, as I've said before, that 1562.5 is your huge marker. You're going to go over and under that to resolve conflict. That's on a very big scale. And that's the beauty of once you understand the levels, you can apply them over and over. Because we've been through these levels before with the E-mini. So we already know them. We know how secret code works. And everything that I'm looking at this chart confirms that opinion. So for continuation, you got to get above 62.5 and keep it above. You want more regression, you got to get it below, and you got to keep it below. And that's on a very big scale. Ladies and gentlemen, hope you've had yourself a good morning. I'm on vacation next week. I don't know the exact schedule. when I'll be back. My wife is trying to negotiate with me. You know, I'll be fair with you. If I'm back a day or two late, so be it. You'll get extra time thrown in. We'll always get our fair share, and then we'll talk about where we're going headed from there. So on a rainy day, I'll check in here and there and post something in the room, or sometimes at night. I bring my computer with me, but I don't sit glued to it all day long. Posts will be late. They won't be regular. Sometimes they'll have a little bit of an influence of a couple of beers in them or a glass of wine. And I'm hoping we don't get a lot of rain, but if we do, then I'll stop in here and there and say hi. Zeke and the rest of you guys, you know that you have the Slack room available. Help each other out with the things we've been talking about. And I'll post where I can. Anybody that wants long side best odds for the buy is already done. All right, guys, catch you in the Slack room before we're done today, and hope you had a good morning. Be well.